So another type of area of liquidity, we call it authenticated area of liquidity type 3. So the type 3, it is categorized with what we call the zone. And zone is normally the point or the area, sorry, the point or the area where market tapped once, then eventually it came back to break that point or area. But the level is simply the support and resistance that has multiple touches. Zone only single touch, support, level multiple touches. So right now we are dealing with what we call the zone. Simply the zone has a single touch, then eventually breaks, the price breaks. Now we have few ways on how we can enter the market after it approaches that zone that was broken. And we consider this zone broken aggressively by or we call it, not aggressive, we call it broken by the momentum candles. So we want momentum candles to break the zone. So after the zone has broken, we need to consider that broken zone on 4 hours time frame. Now, after 4 hours time frame, we have marked our zone that was broken, either being validated or invalidated, whatever. We'll go to 1 hour to look if there's any area of liquidity that was published there. If there's no area of liquidity that was near to that zone, which means now we can go to 30 minutes. So if we want to find the 30 minutes time frame, zone area of liquidity, we can't enter aggressively. So the entry are either aggressively or by confirmation. So confirmational entries, you'll check them on the other folder, which we call it the entry folder. So the type 1 can be used as your entry. Entry model 1 can be used as your confirmational. Very clear. So at this point, after we have marked our zone that has been broken by the momentum candle, we need to go to 1 hour or 30 minutes to look for the areas of liquidity. These entries are what we call the aggressive entries. For the confirmational, you'll have to wait for the price maybe until it gives you, it start validating the structures to the opposite direction of the market. So that is when you would have considered. But as I said, the confirmational entry, we'll see them later. So let us check on how these things work easily. So this is GBP USD, and this has just happened today. So we have GBP USD 4 hours. Remember, the time frame must be 4 hours and must be only a single tap, then eventually price manages to break. So for instance here, this is our single tap area of liquidity. The area of liquidity that has been broken by the momentum. As you can clearly see, we had momentum candles that are publishing the candles to the upside direction. So after we have spotted such kind of structure, eventually we go to 1 hour to look for the areas of liquidity that made this zone to be broken, which means at this point, this is our area of liquidity, and this area of liquidity will be refined so that you can be taking your trade. So let me play out the price and see how the price went. Eventually, that's how you could have taken such kind of trade here for you see. So the price came faced, it didn't tap, just tapped a little bit, but didn't consume anything from there, of which after going higher for quite some time, it eventually came to consume. Let me just add up. Okay. so that you can have the higher speed. So for the second time, price came here, did some liquidity consumption, and until this moment, we still have some bullish structure for the GBP USD. Let us check here on GBP JPY also. Just 4 hours time frame. You can clearly see here we had some momentum break of structure. This was the momentum break of structure because we had these structures. We had this price breaking by the momentum. So we need to go to 1 hour to look if we had any area of liquidity. Eventually, oh, and what I didn't say is either the area of liquidity must be here before the break or must be in between and must not be outside after the break. So you should consider these two things. So which means this one was the best area for some consideration to take your trade to the opposite direction of the market. So as you clearly see that price came here, consumed the liquidities, then dropped it to the downside. Yeah, let us check more examples that are way more aggressive compared to the rest. Let's check here. Okay. We find the examples. Right. I think this one as well. Yeah. So we can't use this as the type 1 or type 2 area of liquidity since we don't have any single candle. I mean, we don't have any single or multiple candles that broke the structure before. So which means, this one is not the best area for us to take some consideration because it's outside. So we need the one that is inside. So if here price hasn't offered us any kind of structure from within, then which means now we'll have to wait for the price either to give us the shift information or only start validating the structure to the opposite direction of the market. So which means our direction was up, then we need to price to start validating the structure to the opposite direction so that we can be taking the trade. And that it's found about that kind of entry confirmation is found into the other folders of entries. Let me check other examples. This is one of it as well. This is one of it. We had the momentum, but we had to confirm if we had any candlestick area of liquidity that was left, which means there's no. So the entry must be the confirmation or entry from that point. Let's check from here. So from this structure here, price broke with the momentum. We need to look for the areas of liquidity that was right above, which means this was one of it, but I was so skeptical because it was too far from where I could have considered. We need to be at least the area to be so near so that we can be considered to be taking it to the next point. Yeah, it was too far, not too far, a bit far, but I see price came here, reacted, but you could have taken the confirmation or entry. We need at least the area that is a bit, it's just near. Yeah, this was one of it. So if someone was, if you could have not so sure of taking this area, the price also offered the momentum. I mean, sorry, not the momentum. It offered the confirmation or entry for you to be taking the trade. Yeah, if you are not so sure of grabbing the entries from that point. So for instance, here we have two things. We have the type 2 area of liquidity, but we need to make sure we confirm it on our daily, which means there's nothing here on our daily time frame. So we can stick to type 3 area of liquidity, which now we need to go on our for 1 hour, which means this was the best area for us to take some consideration because we had the area of liquidity, then an instant break to the downside. Yeah, up to this one also it's a good area because it's just the area that is near to the price, and that's why you see price came here inside and eventually dropped massively. I'm checking more examples. Another example, the same price. We had the momentum break, or this can be used as the type 1. So momentum or type 1 is okay. So if it's the momentum, you can use it from here. This is your area of liquidity. We go to for 1 hour. We don't have any area of liquidity. We go to 30 minutes. Also, we don't have area of liquidity, which means now we need to wait for the confirmation or entry in order for us to be taking. So from this point here, price has already shifted, but not offered us any kind of formation. So which means if you go to smaller time frames, you will eventually see the shift and formations that can guide you to be taking your trade to the next level, which means now from this point, we had the shift here down, the formation right above here, which made price to drop to the downside. So let me find more examples here. Just one more example. I think it's on Euro JPY. Just a few, yeah. I think it's on a Euro JPY. Okay, this one. So what if you find the momentum break from your biggest time frame? What if you find the momentum break in your daily time frame, for instance here? You need to go on your 4 hours time frame to check as well if price broke with the momentum. Then if it has broken with the momentum, that was the assurance for you to go to the small, to the, for instance here we have 1 hour, which the area of liquidity is just above. We can't consider this. We need the one that is between or below. So from this one, we can choose this is our area of liquidity for us to be taking the trade. And this is the area of liquidity for the consideration. So as you can clearly see, price came here, jumped multiple times there, then eventually made its way through up. So that's how you could have taken such kind of trades, and just an easy way. Another example, we have the momentum break here. Price was publishing these bear candles, as you can clearly see. Now we need to go to 1 hour to confirm. On 1 hour, we have this as our area of liquidity, as you can clearly see there. So see price came here, then dropped to the downside. And that's how easy you could have been taking the trades, allowing such kind of areas of liquidity. So make sure you do a lot of back tests sometimes you might not be very good at the market because you don't backtest the things well. So make sure you take your time to backtest the market and see how it be in a good way on your side. So that's it. I think I'll be uploading the file, then make sure you check it before that. Thank you.